Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday. It's already December 4th, 2025. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement, the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. And I want you involved right away because we have two great guests that we always have on a Thursday. We'll have Dan Orlovsky at 1:30. In the 2 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Chris Sims. But I want to get you involved early because, again, with the two guests, there'll be less time for you to talk. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. All right, here's what we start with. We start with the rumors about Giannis Antetokounmpo and possibly going to the Knicks. Now, there are so many other teams that could make better deals with the Bucks for Giannis. But when you have a guy of Giannis' stature and what he's done for the Bucks, he's won them a championship. He's been the face of their franchise since they drafted him. You send him where he wants to go, and you get the best deal possible. Now, it's up for the Knicks if they have to bring in a third team to certainly do that. And the Bucks will certainly have to sit back and say, do we want to restart and break it down to nothing? Or do we want to make a trade where we can actually be competitive? Now, the trade where they can actually be competitive would be straight up with the Knicks for Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, he's not Antetokounmpo. He's a better offensive player than Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo does not shoot well. Obviously, he struggles a bit from the foul line as well, but he's a better defender, overall a better player than Cat. But Cat's really a better offensive player with more of an offensive skill set. But Antetokounmpo makes you better and has won a championship, so the pedigree is there with him. Now, you're going to have to throw in more. Now, I don't know how the Knicks pull this off, especially after giving up their 5 first-round draft picks to the Nets for Mikal Bridges. Now, do you have to throw in OG? Do you have to throw in Hart? Do you have to throw in any number of other players to make this work for the Bucks? Or do you trade Karl Anthony Towns to another team that has draft picks, then send those draft picks over to the Bucks? But in the NBA with the salary cap, you have to make salaries match. But I know that this is the topic of the day right now, but once Shams Charania reports that Giannis is out for 2 to 4 weeks with the calf injury that he suffered yesterday, why are we even talking about this? You don't make this trade until he's healed. Now, remember, the trade deadline is the beginning of February. So is he going to be back by Christmas? Is he going to be back by New Year's? Is he going to be back the middle of January? Here's one thing that I would really be afraid of. If I was any team that made a trade for this guy, calf injuries are a precursor to Achilles injuries. When he was sitting there on the ground last night, every single person amongst us thought, wow, he blew out his Achilles. And those that play through Achilles problems end up injuring play through calf problems, end up injuring their Achilles. Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton. If you're going to play through that problem while it's still injured, the likelihood is that you're going to blow out your Achilles. And if you blow out your Achilles in January or February, you know what that means? You're not going to come back until January or February of 2027. So if you're a team that makes that deal for Antetokounmpo, remember one thing. You're going to give up a lot of capital, whether it be players on your rosters or prospect capital in terms of draft picks, and you might lose the player for a year if he blows out his Achilles. I'm not being alarmist. I'm just following the breadcrumbs. And the breadcrumbs have told us over and over and over again that a calf injury is a precursor to an Achilles injury. It's happened too often to be a coincidence. It is what it is. So if you want my true opinion right now, once he goes down with the calf injury, if I'm the Knicks, I'd probably go, I'm good. I'm good for the 2025-2026 season. And if Giannis really wants to come to the Knicks, then be quiet, don't demand a trade, and then demand a trade at the end of the year, during the offseason when the Knicks could put together a better package and know about the viability of his health. I am not making that deal now once I saw him on the ground clutching his calf. Now, they did the test. It's not an Achilles at this point, but I will tell you again, I will repeat myself over and over and over again. It is a precursor to an Achilles injury, and that's the last thing you need. Now, obviously, the breadcrumbs are there that Giannis wants to be a Knick. Here's Brian Windhorst, who pretty much amplifies that in what he says.
You can put out whatever verbiage you want around it about whether he requested it or asked for it or hinted at it, but he basically said, I want to be a Knick. Can you make me a Knick? And they had discussions for some period of days, and that those talks didn't progress, and so they dropped it, and he reported to camp and tried to focus on it.
Now, Doc Rivers, the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, said yesterday, after the injury, that I don't care what people are reporting, especially one specific network, meaning ESPN, he has never asked to be traded, ever. So here's Shams Charania. He was asked, what's the latest on Giannis?
Sources tell me that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent, Alex Saratas, have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks about the realities of whether his future is best staying in Milwaukee or the realities of moving on elsewhere. And my understanding is a resolution to this and whether this could lead to a trade request is expected in the coming weeks. So there's a timeline there.
So there you have it. There's a little bit of parsing of words there by Shams. He said they're discussing with the Bucks his future there. He has not demanded a trade. So what Shams is saying and what Doc Rivers is saying actually could coexist. Now, Shams was asked what happened from Giannis staying in the offseason to now.
Essentially, there were failed trade talks in August. There was a multi-week exclusive negotiating window for the New York Knicks, as it was described to me, on a potential Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. They were aware, the Bucks were aware, parties that needed to know were aware that Giannis Antetokounmpo, if there was a team outside of Milwaukee, he wanted to play for the Knicks. No deal happened, and John Horst, the Bucks general manager, who has creatively made time and time again, Drew Holiday in 2020, Damian Lillard in 2023, then the Miles Turner acquisition, he has creatively found ways to maneuver and make this team better. He had done it again. Doc Rivers, they had sold Giannis Antetokounmpo and ownership on a championship contending team. This is a results-based business, a results-based situation. Giannis Antetokounmpo has made it clear he wants winning. If they keep trending this way, this is just the start for even more hard conversations to come. And also, like I keep saying, the inevitable writing on the wall, as one source told me today.
I mean, they go out, they make the Miles Turner trade. They actually ate all the money for Damian Lillard. They're moving heaven and earth so that he does stay there. But they're kind of behind the eight ball because he only wants to play for the Knicks. The Nets could probably put together a better offer. They still have draft picks available. They have young players on their team. Maybe the Bucks like some of them. I'm not quite sure. There are teams that could put together a much better offer than the Knicks. OKC, which doesn't need Giannis, as strange as that sounds, they're holding the Clippers pick. Atlanta probably has more draft capital to give to Milwaukee. But if Giannis is insisting on going to the Knicks, then they're going to have to work something out with the Knicks, and then it's up for the Knicks to maneuver and bring in a third team and get more assets to send to Milwaukee. Again, this is something that I would not do now. Now, Bobby Marks, who is our GM essentially at ESPN, said he was very skeptical of Giannis going to the Knicks in a trade.
I don't see why Milwaukee would do a deal with New York, considering they have no first-round picks to trade, and it's hard to see what Karl Anthony Towns does for them. San Antonio still has a lot of draft assets and tradable players left, even after getting De'Aaron Fox. Houston would be certainly an interesting name just because they got whether it be Alperen Sengun or and Thompson.
Now, everything he's saying is true. There are countless teams that could make a better offer than the Knicks because once the Knicks made the trade with the Nets for Mikal Bridges, that took away all the assets they were saving for Giannis. Giannis waited too long to demand this trade or to talk about it during the offseason. The Knicks had already made the move previously for Mikal Bridges. So all those 5 picks, that was the enticing thing for any team dealing with the Knicks. They were gone. So the Knicks figured, you know what? We're not getting Antetokounmpo. We're not going to sit on these picks. We don't want to make these picks. We'd rather get an established player. And they did that with Bridges, and then they signed Bridges. And Bridges, although he's not a great player, he's a good player. He's a helpful player. And he's shown with Mike Brown as a coach, his offense is a little more varied with Mike Brown's offensive system, and he could score a little bit more. But the whole thing falls apart. I know what Bobby Marks is saying, but if Giannis wants to go to the Knicks, then that's where he wants to go. And unfortunately, that puts the Bucks in a situation that Nico Harrison put himself in dealing Luka to the Lakers. It was Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks at the time, who only dealt with the Lakers. He did not open up and make it an expansive field to make those bids. He never did that. And by doing that, he limited what he got back. In fact, the return he got for Luka is laughable. Anthony Davis, an injury-prone veteran guy, and 1 draft pick. He didn't get Austin Reeves. He didn't ask for the 2nd draft pick. He essentially gave one of the top 5 players in the NBA to the Lakers. He gave it to him. And he set the Lakers up for the next 10, 15 years. And that's why he's out of a job. And the Bucks might be under those same constraints, although they have not done it to themselves like Nico Harrison did. They're doing it because their star player, who they want to do right by, said the team I want to go to is the Knicks. He doesn't want to go to San Antonio. He doesn't want to go to Atlanta. He doesn't want to go to Houston. He's already won a championship, so it's not a deal where I've got to go chase a championship. He wants to go to a team that has a chance to win a championship, and if he goes to the Knicks, he can win a championship with them. But he's not chasing that final piece of the puzzle because he already has a title. He wants to be in New York, the opportunities, post-playing, Madison Avenue, the whole deal. The way the world is right now, you can be an absolute star in Cleveland. LeBron James proved that. It's a village. The whole world is a small village now because of the internet. So you don't have to be on Madison Avenue to get endorsements, but it doesn't hurt. And this is where he wants to be. High visibility. He's got commercials the way it is, and he plays in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's interesting. It's fun to talk about. But I will tell you this, with all honesty, if I'm the Knicks, I'm not making this deal in the middle of the season. Especially now with his health being in question with the calf injury. I'm not doing it. Because it takes a long time for everything to congeal. It takes a long time for everybody to get on the same page. If you bring this guy in, let's say January 25th, you've got to make everything work. Everything has to fit. They all have to get synergy together in 2 months before the playoffs start? I'd rather roll with what I have right now. Because everybody that's on the Knicks right now, they'll be on the Knicks during the offseason. And that deal is still able to be made during the offseason. That's all there is to it. Now, the other story I want to talk about today, we had our first Hot Stove show on Yes last night. And Jack Curry, who is about as clued in as anybody when it comes to the Yankees, he's not guessing. He's not working at the behest of agents. He has inside sources, and he knows exactly what's going on. And just reading the comments on social media after we did that show, and Cam Schlittler was our guest, people are down. Because Jack wasn't selling them all hearts and flowers. He was being very, very honest. Doesn't know exactly what big thing the Yankees are going to do. And, after the show, I made some phone calls as well because what Jack said kind of piqued my interest. And I kind of shot down a caller in yesterday's show who said this. And in advance, I'd like to apologize. There is a good chance, everybody, that the Yankees' intent at this point on December 4th is to, in fact, be under the $300 million threshold. And I'm going to be as honest as I could possibly be here. According to Cott's contracts, after all they've done and the expected arbitration numbers of people that they have on their roster, they're at 279. If they intend to stay under 300, they are not getting Bellinger. They are not getting Tucker. They are not going to be able to make any significant move because if you look at the big salaries on the Yankees, who exactly can they move to create that salary space to bring in a $25 or $30 million contract, let's just say on Bellinger. And if it's Tucker, a $40 million contract. Stanton's unmovable. You can't even think about moving Judge. You're not moving Cole. You're not moving Fried. I guess Rodon is somebody that you can consider. Are you going to get top value? That would clear about $26 million. He's got 3 years left. He's got 3 years left on his deal. Most of their money is locked into players that are not moving. You know, people say, well, they should trade Ryan McMahon. I don't know if there's going to be that much of a market for Ryan McMahon, who's an outstanding defender, but not a good hitter. The Yankees got him because they needed better defense at third base, and he provided. He was unbelievable, but he really struggled offensively. He makes $15 million this coming season and $15 million after that, which is not a lot of money, but I don't think that people are going to be clamoring to acquire Ryan McMahon. The other thing that you could do is you could trade Jazz Chisholm, but you got to replace him too, and he doesn't make an inordinate amount of money. He'll be a free agent at the end of this year. So there's not that many movable pieces for the Yankees to make that space between where they are at 279 to 300. It's not like they could lop off $20 million somewhere and create that space where you could get a Bellinger. And I will tell you this. If, in fact, they are staying under $300 million, remember their number last year at the end was $319. So that means they're looking to lop off over $19 million from last year's team. And if you're going to improve last year's team, you can't do that. You can't do it. And that's why, if in fact, I have to keep giving this caveat, if in fact it's true that they are not going over 300, I've got to wait and see if that's true, because I can't believe that that's the marching orders, because if it's the marching orders, they cannot recreate a 94-win team. I know they've got great pitching, especially when Cole comes back and Rodon comes back, probably sometimes in May. And then Schlittler looks like he's ready to take the next step. All of that is outstanding. All of it's outstanding. But you have to have offense, too. And that's why, when it happened, I felt giving the qualifying offer to Trent Grisham was a massive mistake. Massive mistake. Because if you ask me, would I rather have Grisham or would I rather have Bellinger and then take my chances with Jason Dominguez in center, which it wouldn't be great. He's not a good defender. I'd much rather do that, have Bellinger in left and Dominguez in center, and sacrifice the defense than lock myself into $22 million for Trent Grisham and then not be able to get Cody Bellinger. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. And maybe you go out in the market and you pay $10 million for Harrison Bader. I don't know how much Harrison Bader's going to get, but you know he could play defense in center field. But if you cannot bring in Bellinger, if you can't bring Bellinger back, then what's your team? You're going to expect Grisham to repeat a 34 home run season, and you're going to put Dominguez in left field, or Spencer Jones fits in somehow. How's the team, again, a 94-win team? How? Again, the signs are they are intent of staying under 100, so 300. So when Hal said it would be ideal to stay under 300, I felt that, he was just saying, in a dream world, it would be great if we could stay under 300. I thought for sure they were going to plow past it. The market, the game has changed. With the Dodgers being the Dodgers and the Mets being the Mets and the money they can throw around, the game has changed. The rules of the game have changed. So if you're looking to cut payroll now and keep the team at 94 wins, you might, I don't know if that's able, I don't know if it can be done. Now, Brian could be creative with trades or whatever the case may be, but you've got to bring back the 99 RBIs of Bellinger and the defense of Bellinger. You've got to replace that somehow. And how are you going to do that if you stay under 300? Again, you've got $21 million to play with right now. $21 million. You're not getting Bellinger for $21 million. And I love the fairy tales that people tell. Well, he really loves the Yankees. His dad played there. He would love to return. He's not returning for nothing. Not going to give that kind of discount. You have Scott Boras as your agent. You're not playing that game. You're not. He's going to cost at least $27 to $30 million a year. How many years, I don't know. So it's tough. I wish I could give you more Christmas news, but and we'll see next week, the winter meetings that everybody starts reporting there on Sunday. We'll see what the Yankees do. We'll see what end of the pool they're playing in. Is it going to be the deep end of the pool, or is it going to be the shallow end of the pool, or is it going to be the kiddie pool? Because you see, Toronto, they're not going to stop spending. And now people are taking their money. And there's reports that Tucker was down in Dunedin touring their spring training complex. The Red Sox are still looking to add another pitcher after getting Sonny Gray, and there's word that they could be after Tucker. They could be in on Alonso. So where are the Yankees then in the American League East? I always have faith in Cashman and company that they're going to put a good team on the field, but can they put a team that matches the 94-win team from last year if they stay under $300 million? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what you're thinking. Let's go to Ralph in Brooklyn. Ralph, start it off.
Hey, how are you, Mike?
Good. How you doing, Ralph?
We had this conversation last week. I liked the Grisham signing at the time, but based on what you're telling me now, if it's at the expense of possibly not signing Bellinger, that's malpractice. I mean, Cashman has to play out all these scenarios. If he wanted to be under $300 million, giving Grisham $22 million handcuffed him in negotiating with Bellinger. So I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I think that's really smart of you, Ralph. Rather than go nuts right now, let's see how it plays out. Because again, their intent could be under 300, but we've seen Hal change where he goes, "All right, go past it." If Brian makes a compelling argument, I didn't even think it was going to affect the Bellinger pursuit, and I thought the $22 million was ridiculous. And from what I'm hearing, the Yankees never thought that Grisham was taking that qualifying offer. They thought that he was going to go out and he was going to get a multi-year deal. But, he's got smart agents and he's smart. He wasn't getting anywhere close to the average annual value of $22 million. Anywhere. And we don't even know if there's baseball that's going to be played in 2027. So he made the smart move. Let me get the $22 million. That's the bird in the hand. If I go out on the open market, I've got to compete against the White Sox trading Lewis Robert, who makes $20 million, or Harrison Bader's out there. Now, Cedric Mullins ended up signing yesterday with the Rays. So there aren't that many center fielders out there. But in no world would Trent Grisham get anywhere close to $20 million a year, let alone 22. So he did the smart thing and took it. And if the Yankees really made him that offer just to get that fourth-round draft pick, mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling. Why? Because the juice is not worth the squeeze. I would never gamble $22 million to get a fourth-round pick. First-round pick? Maybe. End of the fourth-round pick. There is no way ever in any scenario that I would gamble $22 million to get a nondescript end of the fourth-round pick. I just wouldn't do it. And now, if they in fact have an intent to stay $300 million, it does clearly impact their ability to go after Bellinger. And it completely takes Tucker out of the equation. And one other thing, we said this on the hot stove yesterday. If you think the Yankees are in play for Edwin Diaz, you're out of your mind. First of all, they have a good closer in Bednar who's going to make about $5 million this year. You think they're going to sign Edwin Diaz to a 5-year, $100 million contract? They've got to allocate their money in the right way. Right now, they've got to somehow replace Bellinger, either by getting Bellinger or getting something close to Bellinger. Otherwise, Edwin Diaz, if you're hearing Edwin Diaz, it's Edwin Diaz's agent using the Yankees as a stalking horse so other teams can say, well, we better up our bid. The Yankees are involved. And everything that you hear about, the Yankees are involved in this, Yankees are involved in that, just know the collective bargaining rules in baseball. The Yankees cannot come out and say we have no interest. They can't do that. It's illegal because it hurts a player's market. But an agent could leak to a writer and say, yeah, the Yankees are really interested in player X. That writer writes it or goes on TV and says it, and then the Yankees are all of a sudden in play. But they're really not. They're really not. Well, you're going to hear that about Alonso, too. The Yankees are sniffing around Alonso. No chance. Zero. There was no chance last year. There's no chance this year. Ben Rice is the first baseman. And one other thing, just to make it clear, if you're going to stay under $300 million, all of this is a fantasy. All of it. They're going to be working on the margins to try to keep it under 300. They've got $21 million to play with. That's it. You're not getting any significant outfielder for $21 million. You could fill up the bullpen. Couple of players, $8 million, $10 million, but you're not going to get a player like Bellinger, and you certainly can't even go and think about Kyle Tucker. Don't want to be a bummer, but I just read the comments after the hot stove went off the air. Oh, wow, I feel so let down. Well, Jack's not there to pump you up. Jack's there to tell you the truth and what he knows. He's the one who told you last year they have no interest in Arenado, none. And he was right. Usually when Jack Curry says something about the Yankees, it's dead on. It is dead on. I'm going to shift to some football. Dan Orlovsky will join us in just a moment. There's a huge game on Thursday Night Football. Huge, with playoff implications like you wouldn't believe. So stick around. It's going to be a great show. We'll get to the phone calls as well. You know the number 1-800-919-3776. The K Show right here on ESPN New York.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
Some stages celebrate. This one tests everything. Every drive, every approach, every putt. Pressure builds. Resilience matters. And history waits for the bold. In June, the 2026 U.S. Open Championship returns to the Hamptons at the iconic Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Experience the world's best golfers competing on one of the sport's most storied stages. Don't just watch greatness, experience it live at the 126th U.S. Open. Daily tickets are available now on SeatGeek.
Alan Hahn here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They remodeled a bath in my house, converting a tub into a shower. The result, amazing. Bathfitter offers custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, durable with no demo, no mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement. Take advantage of their biggest sale of the year. Save up to $800 on a complete Bathfitter system. See their website or call for details and start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show. Thursdays at 1:30, we get a chance to talk to Dan Orlovsky, talk some NFL with him, and Dan joins us right now on the show. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I'm great, Michael. How are you, bud?
I'm doing well, and I'm really excited about tonight's game. Is it fair to say, Dan, that this game winner is done for their playoff hopes?
Loser is done with the playoffs.
Yeah, that's loser.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep. It's just reality for Dallas, and not only with the potential, but just mathematically, and also when it comes to like tiebreakers, you're trying to chase down. Let's live in a world of if you lose to Detroit, you would try to chase that. They would have the numbers and tiebreaker. The same with Chicago. They have a numbers and tiebreaker. Carolina, tiebreaker. And so they've got losses to teams that are kind of in their mix and or they're trying to chase down. Detroit would mathematically still have, life, but it just would feel like they would need significant help. And so it's a playoff game, and, it's going to be awesome environment-wise because, this is a Detroit team that's beat up, but they're at home. They know it's a playoff game. Dan Campbell backs against the wall, and it's a good matchup for Dallas because their style of offense versus Detroit's style of defense. So I'm expecting a fantastic game.
All right, so Detroit, obviously not the same team as last year. Is it simply because of the injuries? And we don't even know, Dan, if Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to play. It looks like he might not. But the injuries all year, is that what's taken them to take a little bit of a step back?
No, it's not. Number one, the line is not nearly what it was last year. That's partly because Frank Ragnow, who was the best center in football, retired. So you lose that integral part. And then the guards have just not played as well. One of them is in Chicago, so that's a loss. The interior of the offensive line and the offensive line in general just has not dominated games from a physical standpoint the way it did last year and the year before. The second thing was and is losing Ben Johnson, who's the head coach of Chicago, who was their play caller. They would create such an advantage with their play call. Sometimes it'd be a leverage or a numbers or a motion or a concept, and so they would take advantage. Losing Ben Johnson, they've lost part of that, and so not nearly as dominant up front and no longer creating those easy plays.
And I've also noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like he's coaching the same. Obviously, Dan is coaching the same way, but he is also a guy who's they're not clicking on those fourth down chances that he's taken. Has that been a factor as well?
No doubt. 0 for 7 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
These are, the last week's losses, losing by 3 at home. And, it's part of it, Michael, is like, okay, let's go for it on 4th and 3. What do you think is easier for me to convert with, lesser players or better players, right? It's like, I've got a bunch of really good players. That means I can have an advantage in 4th and 3. I'm much more willing to go when I'm the dominant team and because I'll succeed more often than not. And so I think just a little bit of the talent depletion and them just not dominating. Sam Laporta out, Amon-Ra may not play. They're not as successful as execution-wise on those huge fourth downs, and a fourth down conversion might lead to 3 points, and then another one might lead to a touchdown. That's 10 points there, and so they've been much less successful.
It's also interesting on the other side, the Cowboys right now have become a really good team and an exciting offense as well. And, as you said, if they lose, all the tiebreakers go against them. It's like they started too late to become the team that they are. They started too late, and they put themselves behind the 8 ball. Is that fair?
Totally. And part of that was because George Pickens, who they traded for this offseason, say the last 6 weeks, he's finally come on. And then that's allowed the offense to really be diverse. And then the defensive pieces. The defense the first 6-7 weeks of the NFL season was a joke. They were the worst defense in football. Now the addition of Quinnen Williams, Overshown getting healthy, Logan Wilson getting healthy, Deron Bland getting healthy, the addition of Jadeveon Clowney. There's 5 or 6 people on their defense starting now that weren't the case in September, early October. And so the hole that they dug was big. If they lose tonight, we will point back to and say, the hole you dug was just too big. If they win tonight, it's a tip of the hat, and it's, hey, Brian Schottenheimer's got to be in the running for Coach of the Year, and Dak Prescott's got to be in the running for MVP, because it would be digging themselves out of a significant hole.
Dan Orlovsky is our guest here on the Michael K. Show. Is it fair to say also, Dan, that as presently constituted, this, we have to count in the bad start they had, but the Cowboys might be better than the Eagles?
The way that they're playing right now, it's hard to dispute that.
Right.
Philadelphia's offense doesn't do anything well. I can give you 5 things that the Cowboys offense does well. Philadelphia's defense the last 2 weeks has been absolutely gutted. And I was in the building to watch Chicago run all over them. And now they just put Jalen Carter and put him anywhere. But Jalen Carter, their star defensive tackle, just had double shoulder procedure within the last hour that was shared. And so, Philadelphia is a little bit reeling. You give them the benefit of the doubt because of the success of the past. But Dallas is a football team right now that, if you ask teams in the NSA, who do you want to play? I'd probably bet most of them would say, give me Philadelphia over Dallas.
Another game that I'm excited about this week is obviously Green Bay and Chicago. How do you view that one, Dan?
Yeah, it's Chicago's got the best run game in the NFC right now, and that's the reason why they're winning and playing well on offense. They're doing it in spite of their pass game. So Green Bay, can you minimize, and Green Bay's defense is very good, but you can run on them a little bit. Can you slow the run down to allow your secondary to play to a strength? Chicago's pass game has just been okay, and then Micah can chase the passer, and then vice versa, Jordan Love and Green Bay's offense. The Bears' defense has ridden the turnover wave this year. It's an okay defense if not for the turnovers, but they keep getting them. And so as an offense, your focus point has got to be like, we got to value the ball. Do not give Chicago's defense the ball. If they play to that way, Jordan Love should have a successful game against a secondary that's just finally getting healthy but still not dominant.
Do you believe that Kansas City is out of it? Obviously, the numbers say if they win out, they're probably in. Can they win out the way they're playing?
You say yes because why?
Because they're Kansas City.
Mahomes in
Right.
the past.
Right.
Exactly. But there's nothing that this team tells me, yes, they'll win out. It's surprising. I thought they would be a playoff team this year, but I would tell you I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they beat Houston, Michael. If you watch Houston, and I know it's in Kansas City, but can Kansas City score 20 against that defense? This is the best defense that we've seen in a long time, and they're going to be doing it without their 3 best offensive linemen, Kansas City is. And so this is a daunting challenge against the best defense in football, and so they don't have any margin for error, and I think that they'll lose this weekend, and shockingly, I don't like it, but shockingly, I think they'll miss the playoffs.
All right, before I let you go, I just wanted to get your take on something. I have not heard it. So a lot of people here in New York were complaining about the hit on Jackson Dart on the sideline, saying it was dirty. I've looked at it. I don't think it was dirty. I think he put himself in harm's way. And as Mike Vrabel said, if they're going to tiptoe along that sideline, my guys are going to have to hit them. Did you think that was a bad play by New England, or was it the proper play?
Proper play. I loved every bit of the play from all angles. For New York folks, with all due respect to say that, come on, you're New York. You're supposed to have a better reputation than that.
Mm-hmm.
You would want the Giants and Jets defenders to treat a quarterback the same way. If the quarterback is going to run on the sideline like that, then it's up to him to take that hit. Jackson's going to learn. He will. Everyone's freaking out about the hits that Jackson Dart's playing. I'd much rather have a competitive quarterback than a soft one. So I loved every part of the play from a football perspective, both parties.
Here's what gets me, though, that I worry about with Jackson Dart. What he says after the game. They're trying to get him to protect himself more. He didn't slide. He was diving head first, putting himself in further damage. And then he keeps saying, well, that's the way I've played since high school. And my reply to him would be, Jackson, this ain't high school anymore. This isn't even Ole Miss anymore. It's different. These guys are different. These are big men. I think he's got to change his mindset more than anything.
Yep. So this is what I would say to that, Michael. Yes. Okay. He's had 8 starts. In his 8 starts, he's been hit 95 times. Now, Lamar Jackson in his first 8 starts was hit 121 times. Jalen Hurts 116. Josh Allen 108. Cam Newton 100. So those guys turned out to be high-end players. And so it's this conversation with Jackson. And listen, you're not going to tell a highly competitive alpha person anything that's going to make him change his style. What I would say is he's got to live it. He's got to go make those mistakes, and he's going to have to experience them to go, I don't really want this anymore. And until he goes through that and lives through that, we could tell, everybody can tell him until you're blue in the face. But when rubber beats the road and the intensity flies, he's going to play his style. If I was with Jackson, I would say, hey, you're really good. Don't become Carson Wentz. Okay, Carson Wentz was a really good player that took too many hits over the course of 3 or 4 years, and it derailed his career. So he's got to experience it. He's got to touch the hot stove for him to not want to do it again.
And I would think, Dan, and you've lived this, it's got to be so hard because this kid's thinking, hey, I got here because of the way I play, and now you're going to tell me to change. But
Correct.
Just the level of competition is different. The men are so much bigger and faster and stronger, and he's got to somehow come to grips with it. And somebody close to him would say, do you want to sign that $300 million contract? If you do, you got to keep yourself healthy. None of this matters if you're not healthy.
Yeah, and I always say I never love the term change your style of play. It's when and where.
Right.
And know when and when not to. And so I love the fact that on the road and a long distance situation, it's second down. Okay, so second down in the first quarter, I don't need you to go take that hit on the sideline trying to get a first down. Third down in the fourth quarter, go be an athlete, go be a player, go be a competitor. And so the when and the where for me is really the growth that is going to be needed, and it's that alteration rather than change.
Dan, great stuff. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the games this weekend. Thank you for coming on as always.
Thanks, bud. You as well.
All right, there's Dan Orlovsky. So good stuff. I can't wait for this game tonight. I mean, Prime has not had awesome games for the most part since they've had Thursday Night Football. This is an awesome game. This is a game that anybody who likes football is going to be locked in because it's just a great game with so much on the line. Hey, Game Time, by the way, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Rangers are in Ottawa to play the Senators. Coverage begins at 6:30 right here on ESPN New York. So the Rangers are in good shape. They're not at Madison Square Garden. They're on the road. Also at 7 p.m., Islanders host the Avalanche at UBS Arena. And at 7:30, the Nets have won 2 in a row, and they host the Jazz at Barclays Center. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. All right. We talked a lot at the beginning. We set up the Antetokounmpo stuff and also the Yankee situation. Let's hear from you. It's time for the co-host before Chris Sims joins us in the 2 o'clock hour. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. You are listening on ESPN New York. You're watching us on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Enjoy the show, whichever way you enjoy enjoying the show, right here on ESPN New York.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this Black Friday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get a full year of Netflix, an unlimited mobile line, a $400 prepaid card, and more, all on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They converted my kid's bath to a shower and did an incredible job. They offer custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit, and it's done in just one day. It's durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and a lower cost than a standard replacement. Take advantage of the biggest sale of the entire year. Save up to $800 on a complete Bathfitter system. See their website or call for details and start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Slomin's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
Listen up, football fans. Never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
ESPN New York is throwing a holiday party you don't want to miss. Join us Friday, December 12th at your mother's house in Garden City Park. We'll be broadcasting the Michael K. Show live from 1 to 3, followed by Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg from 3 to 7, all while supporting a great cause. Bring a toy to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation and help make the season brighter for local kids in need. It's the ESPN New York Holiday Party, Friday, December 12th, brought to you by Spiked Aid, Security Dodge, Amazon Pickup, and ESPN New York.
You know, you walk around the city and, you know, there's a chill in the air. They lit the tree at Rockefeller Center yesterday. It's Christmas time, baby. And the ESPN New York Holiday Party is back. This show, The Michael K. Show, and Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg are bringing the holiday cheer at your mother's house in Garden City Park, Long Island. That's on Friday, December 12th. We're once again collecting unwrapped toy donations this year to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation. All kicks off at 1 p.m. on Friday, December 12th. That's at your mother's house. Brought to you by Amazon Pickup, Security Dodge, and Spiked Aid, made for big city social stamina. That's right, baby. Now we talk to you. Let's go to, Brian in Stamford. Brian, talk to me.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm part of a downtime. I've interviewed you a couple of times at the baseball game and the beach bash. Really enjoyed it, and it was very nice meeting you.
Cool.
I'm a big Yankee fan, and I've heard you talk in the past, maybe not so much recently, just about Hal. And, I think overall, even though you understand kind of some of our frustrations, you overall, am I accurate in saying you feel like when all things are considered that he's a fairly good owner?
I think he's an excellent owner. I mean, he is always he's always provided the funds necessary to win. They just haven't won.
Now, but is it just me? Because I don't know, and I'm just a diehard fan, and it just hurts so much to just think about. I'm in my mid-30s, so I grew up, in the midst of the Yankee dynasty, and it's just so hard not to think that he's the exact antithesis of that. Only because I feel like we see all the revenue reports and the money that the Yankees bring in, and it just seems like that he constantly holds us back from going over the top to get back to where I need to be because he doesn't want to spend more money. And I watched you on Yankee Hot Stove last night, and I just get the sense from listening to you today, that it feels like he's going to really do nothing and probably have Jason Dominguez start in left field. And it's just like, being there at the playoff games last year, it's clear this team needs a little more to get back to championship level. And it just seems like he's more concerned about the bottom line rather than winning a title. And I don't know, I just look at it as and I know it's not realistic, but if his father was alive, he would not even want to talk to him because of how bad they have fallen since the days that he was
But I think that's hyperbolic. So let's pick this apart. When they won in 2009, George was not running the team. Hal was. Hal okayed this expenditure of Sabathia, Teixeira, and Burnett. So you can't say he doesn't want. He's at a top 3 payroll ever since he's taken over for his father. 2 years ago, they were in the World Series. So I don't understand that thinking that he's not putting the money in. Now, if he decides this year to stay under $300 million, then maybe you have a little bit of a complaint. I mean, if he's not bringing the payroll to where it actually was last year and gets under it, then I guess people can complain. You know what? He has not gone above and beyond. But I think that every single year he's gone above and beyond. And if he's only concerned about the bottom line, then he should have a payroll of $250 million. And he should pocket $70 million more for profit for he and the other investors on the team. And everybody keeps bringing up George Steinbrenner. With all due respect to the late George Steinbrenner, he didn't have to deal with Steve Cohen. He didn't have to deal with Mark Walter and the Guggenheim partners of the Dodgers. There was no one that had the market that George Steinbrenner had that could compete financially with the Yankees and what the Yankees could bring to the table. Now there are teams that can compete and are willing to compete, and it's a hobby for Steve Cohen. It's a hobby for Mark Walter and the Guggenheim partners. It's the way the Steinbrenner family makes a living. They don't have any other things. The Yankees are the way they make a living. So it's unfair to continue to say George would have done it this way. George didn't have to deal. He did not have to deal with Steve Cohen. He had to deal with Fred Wilpon. And that was the family business essentially, other than some real estate holdings. And Fred Wilpon, they knew, was not going to spend the money that George Steinbrenner would spend. He just wouldn't. And the Dodgers are owned by Frank McCourt, and they were not going to spend the money. And before that, the O'Malleys, and that was their family business. Maybe baseball is moving out of the position where a family business could actually survive. And that's why I think the Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner are firmly on the side of a salary cap. They are. Because then how smart an organization is wins out over how much they want to spend or how much money they want to lose. And the Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner think that their organization is as smart as anybody else's, if not smarter. That's what happens in the NBA. That's what happens in the NFL. They all could spend the same amount of money, and the smartest organizations end up winning. The Howie Rosemans of the world at Philadelphia win. He's smarter than everybody else. Sam Presti in Oklahoma City wins because they're smarter than everybody else. The smartest teams win. They can't outspend their mistakes. That's why when Hal has come down on the side of we want every team to have a chance to compete, it's really about let's give every team an opportunity to win. without being outspent, because I don't think the Dodgers care about losing money. I don't think that Steve Cohen cares about losing money. It's been documented that Steve Cohen loses a lot of money owning the Mets the way he spends. Hal Steinbrenner has investors. The Steinbrenner family own about 50% of the team. He's got to answer to people. He does. He has to answer to people. Let's go to Luca in Soho. Luca.
Hey, what's up, Michael? I think you're spot on, and we're seeing the advantage of guys that come in. Let's call them the private equity guys that I don't want to say don't care about the money, but they have the power to kind of just buy their way out of their problems.
Yep.
And I think you see it even in the language, right? Hal's talking about him having to pay money to the city of New York, et cetera, and meanwhile you have on the other side Steve Cohen like doing all these all these casino deals and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think I know there's a lot of equity is not the word, parity in sports, right? But you're seeing it with the legacy franchises, Lakers, the Cowboys, and the Yankees, right? I don't know that they're relying so much on their legacy and not so much on the money, and that's what's kind of helping them still. Well, stay relevant. Obviously, you can pick that apart, but
the Lakers and the Cowboys can't outspend everybody because they're in cap sports. But the Yankees are in a sport where you can be outspent, and I know what there are going to be people out there that are going to say, the Yankees had this much revenue, blah blah blah. I have dealt with this. All right, if you own a company and you make $300 million profit. Right? 1 year. The next year, you make $175 million profit. They will tell you they lost money. Although they made $175 million profit, they're thinking, because they have to talk to their investors who expect a certain amount of return, their thinking is they lost $125 million last year. They just lost the amount of profit. I've dealt with it in negotiating contract. Well, we lost money last year. Well, did you? You didn't make as much money, but when you're not the sole owner, like Steve Cohen is, I think the Wilpons own 5% of the Mets. So, Steve Cohen calls a shot, 95% of the team. If he wants to lose $400 million, he doesn't have to answer to anybody. He and Alex Cohen only have to answer to themselves. It's their money. Hal Steinbrenner does have to answer to investors. So let's say they made $300 million profit a couple of years ago when they won the World Series. And this year they got knocked out in Game 5 against the Blue Jays. So they didn't make as much profit. Well, they've got to go back to their investors, and the investors are going, why didn't we make as much money? We invested in this so we can make this amount of money. So you can all say, well, they make a profit. They should be able to throw all the profit in. But they've got to answer to other people. They do, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to come up with a reason why all of a sudden the Yankees seem fixated on getting under 300. And the Yankees also seem firmly behind the thought of parity in baseball where the lower market teams can compete. I think it's more imperative for them and teams like the Red Sox and the Cubs that they can compete with the Cohens and the Guggenheims. That's what this is about. They want to be able to cap what you could spend so that some rogue owner doesn't blow everything out of the water because he doesn't care about losing that much money. I think it comes down to that. And when you hear stuff like they really do want to stay under 300 this year, that's concerning because the way I look at it, how do you put together a team that will win 95 games again and have the tied for the best record in the American League? How? When the team that you tied with is spending money like they're printing it. Spending money like they're printing it. And the Red Sox are back to spending money. And the Orioles look like they want to spend money. They signed Helsley. There might be more to come. They need pitching. These are all things to be considered. I want to see. I think Brian Cashman's a great GM. A lot of you out there listening to me, you don't. Let's see how great he and his staff are to spend $21 million less than last year and keep a team as good or better than last year. Let's see them do it. I'm trying to be creative in my mind, and I'm having a hard time coming up with it. Maybe they can. We'll see starting Sunday when they all start to report at the winter meetings in Orlando. All right, coming up in just a moment, Chris Sims will join us. We'll talk more football, continue to take your phone calls as well. It's the K Show right here on ESPN New York.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it, That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Some stages celebrate. This one tests everything. Every drive, every approach, every putt. Pressure builds, resilience matters, and history waits for the bold. In June, the 2026 U.S. Open Championship returns to the Hamptons at the iconic Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Experience the world's best golfers competing on one of the sport's most storied stages. Don't just watch greatness, experience it live at the 126th U.S. Open. Daily tickets are available now on SeatGeek.
The holidays are here, and Amazon Pickup is your MVP of package pickup. Need that perfect gift like a brand new jersey for the big game? With Amazon Pickup, you can grab your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule at no extra cost. It's fast, it's easy, and it keeps your holiday surprises tucked safely away. So whether you're running from work or heading to the holiday party, Amazon Pickup makes holiday shopping worry-free. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hour 2 of our 2-hour radio program right here on ESPN New York. You know, on Thursday at this time, we get an opportunity to talk to our good friend Chris Sims of NBC, and he joins us now. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, Michael. Hope you're good, man. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Excellent. How about you?
Yeah, it was great. I always love Thanksgiving, and the games, of course, on Thursday and Friday, and college football Saturday. My favorite weekend of the year, so it was great. It really was.
You know, you look at those Thursday games, right, and then you see the ratings that CBS got for that game. You know, 57 million. I mean, you're in the middle of it. Can you even imagine how popular football is?
No, it's gone to another level. I feel like in the last 5, 6, 7 years, where it's just exploded, right? I mean, even their first game, the Lions-Packers, that broke a record.
Yep.
So it's the interest in the sport is at an all-time high. I mean, all our best athletes in the country are playing the sport, right? It's amazing, and it's like we got over all the physicality of it and the concussion issues, and finally everyone just went, okay, that's kind of part of the sport. They've tried to make adjustments, and fantasy football and some of the quarterbacks we've had, I think, has all led to where we are right now with the country loving the sport.
All right, so let's talk about the physicality, and let's talk about Jackson Dart. And I was just talking in the previous hour with Dan Orlovsky about this, and I want to ask you, I mean, he's still young, but he still takes hits, and he still puts himself in peril. And I understand that he's learning, but then the comments that he makes, that's what concerned me, Chris. Well, that's the way I play. You know, I've played like that since high school. Well, this ain't high school, Jackson.
Exactly.
This is a completely different animal. So how do I mean, I hate to use this term. It's a horse racing term. How do you break him? How do you break him that he doesn't do this?
I mean, I hope it doesn't take an injury to break him, right? That's what I worry about. But, yeah, I mean, you know, when he makes comments like that, I go, yeah, he's still not there in his own mind about taking care of his body. You know, yes, I understand that's how you play, but you won't be playing very long if that's what you continue to do. And I know there's other quarterbacks out there that we see get hit every now and then, but I don't think what people realize is, like, you know, Josh Allen and Mahomes started this whole tippy-toe thing down the sideline to get cheap yards. The league is on it. The defenses are on it. You're inbounds, they're going to hit you. Plus, guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, as you know, if you saw them in person, you go, oh, wow, they're a little bigger and thicker than I realized, especially Josh Allen. And Mahomes is about 235, and people don't realize that either. But, yes, he's got to figure this out a little bit. You know, it definitely does not seem like it's hitting home with him. And it is a different game, like you said. Hey, I played in the Big 12 when it was every bit as good as the SEC in the early 2000s. I mean, my last game in college football was against Nick Saban and LSU, who went on to win the national championship the next year. But I can still remember when I was getting ready to play my first game in the NFL, my dad getting ready, right? He goes, hey, Christopher, this isn't high school and college football anymore. When you run around now, get your butt down. He goes, this is a different animal in what you're dealing with. And it really is, and he's got to be careful. And, yeah, it just has not hit home with him. It's a little concerning, like you said.
And the reaction is, Chris, you know, after he got hit, when he's tiptoeing down the sideline, people say it was a dirty hit. I don't think it was dirty at all. I thought it was totally clean by the Patriots.
Totally clean. And, you know, I mean, if we're going to go by the book here, a lot of the Giant players should be suspended. I mean, not suspended, but fined.
Right.
I mean, again, what was it? Illegal hitting the quarterback too hard? I mean, exactly right. The Patriots are doing what they're supposed to do, and Vrabel's big into that. If you remember even Vrabel when he's with the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis's rookie year, he was big into teaching, hey, you're not going to last if you keep taking these hits. You got to learn to slide and do that. So he's trying to teach his quarterback and Drake May that. He teaches his defense, hey, if you see a guy stay in bounds, he's in bounds, hit him. And I think there's a lot of defenses being told that right now. And so quarterbacks got to be careful all around the league.
And it's also interesting, and it's a fact of life because officials are human beings, but Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they might get that call that, you know, it was a late hit or whatever, but Jackson Dart's not going to get it. He just doesn't have the equity at this point.
Now.
No.
Not right now. You're exactly right about that. And Mahomes and Allen have become good at kind of acting along the sidelines, but that's where at least it's good that 345 Park is watching in these kind of situations now to go, oh, wait, yeah, that looked aggressive, but no, he was in balance. Pick the flag up. And, yeah, I don't think you're going to, see too many egregious calls that way. But, yeah, that was a bad look for the Giants on Monday night in so many ways. I mean, gosh, we were a meme in about 5 different plays throughout the night, and it was just a bad night altogether.
I'm going to ask you what could be a controversial question. Everybody seems to be locked in. All right, Jackson Dart is going to be a star. The Giants have the quarterback situation all figured out. Now, there's a chance, Chris, that the Giants could have the number 1 or number 2 pick in the draft. Do you think that Jackson Dart is far and away, no questions asked, the quarterback of the future, or does he have to show you more?
No, he's showed me enough. He's showed me enough and then some. Yes, he definitely has. You know, I think, one, he's proved that he's very smart. He knows where to go with the football. He's got a great feel for the game. And he's showed me, too, that he's a pretty elite playmaker for the position. And I don't think you give up on that, right? I mean, when you have a guy that go, wait, when people are open, he hits it. He can be surgical. And then, hey, when the offense doesn't work and there is nobody open, he can still make a play and do something like that. Yeah, that's enough for me. So, no, you got a guy here right now. And he's got the personality and the leadership that we're seeing, that the team rallies around him. They like him. Don't mess that up. It's one of the good things that's going for the Giants organization right now. I think it'll be one of the positive things for when coaches want the job. They're going to look at it and go, ooh, I like this Jackson Dart. He's got a little something to him, right? A little pizzazz, a little life. Guys are going to follow that. And he's got some talent too. So, no, build the rest of the team. We got the quarterback for at least the foreseeable future here.
All right, so let's talk about the future head coach. It's probably not going to be Mike Kafka because they haven't won. And, I've read stuff, well, if they go 3-1 in the 4 games, I think the decision should be made already. But that being the case, let's say that it's wide open. Do you think that you could get a young coach? Should you get a young coach again? Because they've gone 0-3 with young coaches, and then Pat Shurmur makes it 0-4. Or do you need a veteran guy like Mike McCarthy? What kind of coach do they need?
I'm kind of along those lines, right? I'm along the lines of I'd like a veteran coach. I think they need a little bit of a proven commodity to kind of get the organization back on track a little bit. Now, Mike McCarthy is a very good coach. There's no doubt about it. He doesn't excite me a whole lot, but I do think he'd do that. His teams have always been tough and detailed, right? I know for a little while people got on him for game management and stuff like that, but towards the end in Dallas, he did a pretty damn good job, in my opinion, with all that stuff. So it's certainly not the worst. Hey, I'm one here, and I'm a little biased. I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to fire Mike Tomlin, and I want the Giants to hire Mike Tomlin. That, to me, would be the perfect mix. I kind of feel like Mike Tomlin, just like with Andy Reid in Philadelphia, the time has come. It's been a good run there, but it's time for everybody just to part their ways, right? They got issues. And, man, I look at a guy like Mike Tomlin, and I go, man, he can't come in here. He would know how to handle the New York media. They would love him. He'd give the organization energy. We got some badasses on defense. He knows how to coach those type of guys, right? So, yeah, I would love that. That's me personally, because I don't think there's a Ben Johnson or a Liam Cohn out there this year. And, yeah, I would favor the proven commodity more.
Now, whoever you bring in has to save what was a high draft pick for the Giants, the 3rd pick in the draft, Abdul Carter. Does that fall on the players, what's going on with him, the veteran guys that have to pull him aside, or is that totally falling on the coaching staff and the front office to allow this guy to continue to be late and to be benched at the beginning of games?
Yeah, it's a little bit on everybody there. I mean, certainly it's on the organization first, okay? And again, as you can know, I mean, there's when you're a really good player and you're a high draft pick, yeah, I mean, not everybody's treated equally. Yeah, you could say what you want. I mean, again, Lawrence Taylor was sleeping in a sleeping bag at the feet of Bill Belichick when he was coaching the defense for the New York Giants because they knew he'd been out all night, and they were like, well, damn, he's so good. Okay, he doesn't have to sit up in the seats and sit up straight and pay attention. We'll just let him sleep. So the rules are going to get bent for great players. And I think on top of it, too, from everything I know, he was allowed to do whatever he wanted at Penn State, right? If he didn't show up, they were like, okay, well, hey, you're starting today, so what? You're the best player on the team. And some of these young stars, when they come from programs like that, they don't quite realize that, like, hey, this is different now. But, no, it falls mostly on the organization. And, the players, like Brian Burns is the ultimate professional. I'm shocked he hasn't, I'm sure he said some things. But Abdul's made a few mistakes. He's young. I'm not overly concerned about it. I think he'll get it straight when it's all said and done.
So, Chris, if you know that, he could do whatever he wanted at Penn State, isn't that part of the due diligence that the Giants should have done?
Yeah.
They shouldn't. They have known that?
Well, and I'm sure they did. And to me, listen, again, if there was one thing that I also would say was maybe a flaw of the Brian Daboll era, he was too worried about being friends with the players.
Right.
And that's where stuff like that goes, the coach likes me. So what if I'm late for the meeting for 5 minutes? We're buddies, right? And that's not where the great coaches, yeah, he's my buddy, but I better mess with him or I'm going to pay for it. And that's where, to me, where I say Vrabel and Andy Reid and Shanahan and all that. They have the magic touch of I can be a jerk, but I can also show you that I care with you and we care about you and keep you professional that way. And I think the Giants were probably lacking that a little bit.
It's funny you brought that up. And I know you're a big sports fan, not just football, but from what I see it in baseball too. They don't hire Billy Martins or Earl Weavers anymore. They want people to have really ooey gooey relationships with the players. Do you think that works, or do you have to have the velvet touch too?
Yeah, no, I think I winning is not supposed to be comfortable, right? Like, let's take the guy that they want at Penn State, the guy that just took over. I'm blanking on his last name, Terry, right?
Right.
Right. They're all making, we love them. The locker room's all fun. Everybody's smiling, and I want to go, that's horrible. That doesn't translate to winning. Like, do you think the Ohio State team with Urban Meyer, or you think Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick, it was like, hey, we're going to the country club today. This is awesome. No, winning is like pressure. Every day we have an expectation, and it's supposed to be uncomfortable. Gosh, when my dad was 8-0 some years, he was coming home and you were like, man, are they 1-7? Are they 2-6? Oh, they're 8-0. Okay. Yeah, because Parcells has got the red hot poker right by their butts, everybody, and driving them that way. So you look through the test of time. I mean, Joe Montana was sick of Bill Walsh when it was coming to the end. Because he was, but you're not playing good enough. Maybe we need to put Steve Young in there. I mean, Magic Johnson had it with Pat Riley. I mean, we know Jimmy Johnson was tough on the Cowboys. You look at almost any great run any sports team has ever had. It wasn't a country club or band camp. It's tough. It's football. It's got to be demanding. So, yeah, I don't like when I hear the guy's too much of a player's coach.
All right, let's talk about tonight, because this is a prime, since it's had Thursday Night Football, it's not had a game like this. This is a game that even if you're a casual fan, you're going to want to tune in. So how does Chris Sims consume this game? You put on the sweatpants, you have snacks. How are you watching this game?
Okay, well, all right. We're going to, my audience that listens to my podcasts and my shows, they already know. But, tonight is a night where I call it drinky, smoky night. All right. So, yes, I don't have to get up early tomorrow morning, and I am going to probably make a fire. And, yes, going to have some sort of, I don't know if the wife's going to cook or we're going to order out. But in the meantime, pregame, early on in the game, I'm going to work up a little appetite. I like the smoky a little bit. And then I'm going to have, a few vodkas on the rocks with a little lime and enjoy the game and really just sit back and enjoy it. That's kind of how my Thursday nights go.
All right, now, do you bring in buddies or you just want to lock in yourself?
Occasionally some buddies, but I'm pretty locked in. I want to be able to watch the game and pay attention, and I text my wife little things I want to remember about the game or little moments, right? It's kind of my notepad that way. So, yeah, I don't every now and then I have one or two buddies here, but I have buddies that I know are going to sit there and watch the game and not talk my ear off or want to do everything else in the world other than watch the game.
All right, so this game, it's very clear the loser, their season could be over. So how do you see this game?
Yeah, this is an interesting game. I mean, the Cowboys are hot, right? The Cowboys' defense, we know, has gotten a little bit better. There's no question about that. The Cowboys' offense is borderline unstoppable. When I look at that offense versus this Lions defense, I go, well, the Lions, when they rush 4, they're not very good at getting after the quarterback. And the Cowboys can protect. They got some big dudes up front. And then you're going to blitz now. And I go, well, Detroit, as a whole, when they blitz and even when they don't blitz, they like to play man-to-man coverage, just like you saw with the Packers making the big plays last week. That's scary playing big man-to-man against these two receivers. It's the best duo in sport right now. And then the other side, I like Detroit, but you can't, again, the Ben Johnson effect and them losing him is real. They're not as creative on that side of the ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not going to be 100% if he does play tonight, and their running game's been a little hot and cold. I'm going to favor the Cowboys. I'm taking them to win this. I mean, again, I wouldn't bet a lot of money on this or anything like that. It's a coin flip type of game, but I'm going to go with the team that's kind of hot right now over the team that I go, few question marks, few game management issues, I think, for Dan Campbell and all that. I'm going to take the Cowboys tonight.
Do you believe that their lack of success this year on fourth downs is a manifestation of no Ben Johnson?
Well, yeah. First off, I think game managers have gone out the window. There's only a few of them in the NFL because go for it does not mean you're managing a game, right? And we have almost like 60, 75% of the coaches now don't manage the game. It's just go for it.
Right.
Go for it, right? The good coaches, Vrabel, Andy Reid, DeMeco Ryans down in Houston, Shanahan, McVay, they play their gut in the way the game's going a little bit more than just go for it. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit mismanagement of the game, and I just think the Ben Johnson effect of they were so good on fourth downs because Ben Johnson, as you've seen with Chicago, always had a list of plays of like, hey, I got 7 or 8 gotta have it plays and gotta have it moments that are going to screw this defense over if we need it. And that's where they're missing that little creativity there in Detroit right now.
I'm wondering, you mentioned Ben Johnson, and the videos become viral where they're celebrating when he takes his shirt off. He's all jacked up. Now, does a team like that, or do they secretly go, our coach is out of his mind?
Well, he's a psycho, but in a good way, right? And to our conversation we were just having before, right? He can do both. He's miserable to work for because he's a grinder. I've heard that from everybody. He is so, and he's demanding. I mean, they have a big win, right? And on Monday he's going, yeah, our pass game, we're winning in spite of that, right? Like that's, whoa, shots fired across the bow there to the Bears offense. So he never takes the hot poker away from the butt that way. As long as you're real and to yourself, no, I think players love that right there. I think those are the kind of things where they go, wait, our coach is crazy. That's awesome that he would do that, right? And he's just got a good way, again, like we talked about, where he can drive the players, but he can also, in his own way, go, hey, I care about you. And I think that's resonated with Chicago. He's pressing all the right buttons. He's a special coach, man. I think he's going to be around for a long time.
Talking with Chris Sims of NBC. Speaking of NBC, you have a great Sunday nighter this week, Texans and the Chiefs, and I don't think it's being hyperbolic to say the Chiefs have to win out. They lose this game against a great defense, they're probably done for the year. They're not going to make the playoffs.
I would think so. I mean, there's a chance, really, if you look at their percentages and all that, even if they win there, they win out, they might not make it.
Right.
To what they've set themselves up. Texans are really good. I know you've heard me talk about the Texans a little bit. The Texans are one of those teams where I go, if they get in the AFC playoffs, they can go to the Super Bowl. They had some losses they shouldn't have lost early in the year. They got off to a slow start. The Texans defense, I think I've said this to you, gives me vibes of the 2015 Broncos, the 2013 Seahawks, right? It's a team that can almost win games with their defense all by itself. I think you saw last week, this Chiefs offense is not all that, right? It's too inconsistent. You look at the game last week, they really only had 2 legit drives. One was a short field off a turnover. The last touchdown of the game, Dallas was kind of playing a prevent, don't let up the big play because we're up by 10 points. So there's issues there, and it's not the same Chiefs defense either, as you saw last week, right? They're good on defense, but they're not dominant like they have been in years past. And I feel like right now the Texans got it going. The quarterback, I am still a huge C.J. Stroud fan. They got enough in the pass game there. And, again, like I said, with that defense, now the left tackle, Josh Simmons, out for a few weeks for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to take the Texans to pull off the upset in Kansas City.
All right, before I let you go, who's your MVP right now? Could it be Drake May?
Well, he's in the combo. I'm still going to go Matthew Stafford for the body of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Drake May's second. I do. I know we have recency bias off of what happened, and Matt Stafford threw the 2 interceptions. They put a lot more on Matt Stafford's plate than the Patriots put on Drake May's plate, right? I always say Drake May's playing early career Tom Brady football right now. Hey, he hasn't thrown for 300 yards yet, right? It's 18 for 24. It's 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And then we run the ball and we play defense. The Rams are a little bit like, hey, we want you to get to this play and check to that and do this, and we're going to ride your right arm. And, of course, he's been phenomenal all year, and he's played at a high level. I know he had the turnovers last week, but, Drake May still takes some bad sacks. He's fumbled a bunch and done that. He's been awesome. He really has, and he's proved me wrong because I was a little lower than him coming out in the draft, but I would still give Stafford the edge right now.
All right, and finally, we've talked about how you have to be a little out of your mind to play quarterback in the NFL. Daniel Jones, Chris, is playing with a broken leg. How does somebody do that?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's affecting their team, though.
Yes.
I don't think there's any doubt about that because, the one thing you saw when Daniel Jones, when he was healthy, he made a few scrambles. He made a few read option. I fake the ball to Jonathan Taylor and keep the ball around the edge type of plays every game. Right now, he's throwing the ball a little different because of that fracture in the fibula, and he certainly can't move the same way. But he is one tough SOB. That's the one thing we know about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had a whole career with the New York Giants where he said set hut and had a duck or had his head ripped off every play, and he hung in there and hung in there and hung in there. it is amazing what he's doing. But I worry about the Colts, and I'm going to take the Jaguars to beat them in Jacksonville this weekend.
Good stuff. As always, enjoy the game tonight with the drinks and the smokes and whatever the case may be.
I might have to get you over one night for the drinky, smoky night.
I will drive over. It would be an experience. It sounds like it, man.
It will be an experience. You don't know what you're in for.
Good stuff. Enjoy.
See you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Chris. That's Chris Sims of NBC. Great stuff from him. And now it's time to turn it over to the co-host. 1-800-919-3776. We put a lot of stuff on your plate. It's like Thanksgiving. You've got the turkey. At my house, you get the lasagna. You've got the stuffing. You've got the potatoes. You've got all the cranberry sauce. What do you want to deal with? I turn the show over to you now. 1-800-919-3776. The K Show. Right here until 3. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg right then on ESPN New York.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 Cardiology, Heart, and Vascular Surgery Rankings.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Bet365 is paying. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Is Giannis to the Knicks realistic?
The thing that would upset me is if Giannis is dealt and the Knicks are not the destination. If Giannis is available and going to be traded, I need him to wind up on the Knicks.
It's possible. Maybe the Bucks say, you've been great for us. We want to do right by you.
And will the Cowboys or Lions win on Thursday Night Football? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hal and Cashman here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They remodeled a bath in my house, converting a tub into a shower. The result, amazing. Bathfitter offers custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, durable with no demo, no mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement. Take advantage of their biggest sale of the year. Save up to $800 on a complete Bathfitter system. See their website or call for details and start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Welcome back to the show. I'm sitting here thinking, what did Chris talk about? Smoky, drinky. I mean, what is smoky? I mean, is it not a cigar? Is it something more? I should have asked him that. Maybe we'll ask him next Thursday. How about that? A week-long tease. What's smoky, Chris? Are you doing the old boubange? I don't know. I look at Chris Sims and I'm not thinking that. Now, it's legal in most places, so I'm not casting aspersions, but I just wonder, what was he talking about? Do you guys know what he was talking about? Drinky. I mean, it's easy to figure out. He's having some drinks. He said vodka, whatever. But he didn't really articulate what smoky meant. Now, if he invited me over, it would be awkward because I don't do that. I've never done that, ever. In college, I was such a geek that if I was in a party and somebody sparked one up, I left. I didn't want to be there because it was illegal then. I thought one day I'd run for president, and I didn't want to have that on my resume. Now, it doesn't matter. You can do anything you want. The things that former presidents and present presidents have on their resume didn't even move the needle. So I was leaving college parties because somebody was actually smoking pot. But if Chris started smoking pot, I don't like the smell of pot. So I would probably get up and leave, which would be an insult to the guy. But I'd like the opportunity. He probably has a great man cave. You know, he's got pictures of his dad and his career. Nice. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to the phones because it's time for you. It's time for you. Andrew in Medford. Andrew.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm glad I got the singing introduction.
There you go.
I think Chris meant cigars. I'm going to start with that. Okay?
All right.
He doesn't seem like the type.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like that type.
No, and his father either, of course. So. But listen, I want to say two things. Can I say something quick about the Giants?
Sure.
And then I want to talk about the Yankees because you definitely put a lot on my table with the Steinbrenners.
Andrew.
I don't know if you remember this when I mentioned to you Mike McCarthy. Excuse me?
Yeah, we lost you for a moment. Go on.
Oh, okay. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, I don't know if you remember, I mentioned Mike McCarthy to you back a while ago, and he's actually the leading head coach now with the odds at 3-1. And I don't even remember, I told you, he could, he established culture, managed egos, and develops quarterbacks. Now, you were talking about Dart. How could you get him from running hectic like that, And Mike McCarthy would be the guy to do that because, he develops quarterbacks. Remember, he developed Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers went on to win 4 MVPs in the Super Bowl. So we'll just go with that. And the hit on Dart was totally legal, and, it was totally cool. The Giants had to react to, kind of what Orlovsky was saying to you. So
right.
I want to be, as a Giant fan, saying, listen, that was a clean hit, and I got no complaint about it.
Okay.
But on to the Yankees now, okay? Now, with the Yankees, Steinbrenner, let's just hope he'll want to spend a little bit more money, so because he'll be good. But I got some names here without Bellinger or Tucker either, so we'll see, a few names. Rosario they could bring back. He's in 2025. He slashed at 302, 328, and 491 against lefties, and he against.
You keep cutting it in and out, Andrew. I'm going to have to let you go. With Rosario, that's a no-brainer. I think he made $2 million last year. Now, they had tried to get him several times as a free agent, and he elected to go elsewhere because he thought there'd be more playing time. But maybe he enjoyed his Yankee experience. I would definitely bring back Rosario. Rosario's a nice guy on the team. He's great in the clubhouse. He's energetic. And as you said, he hits lefties very well. Those are the guys that they could squeeze in if they're going to go and look to be under 300. Again, time will tell if that's legitimate. I can't see it. I think they will go over 300. I don't know how they put together a team that's going to be able to beat out the Toronto Blue Jays and the Red Sox if they're under 300. They have $21 million to play with. $21 million to play with. Now, they're going to have a great starting staff, but the bullpen's a little incomplete at this point, although they have some nice pieces there. And then, you take Bellinger's production out. Again, it's going to be tough. Connor in Connecticut. Connor.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I just want to chime in that he did say he was going to work up a little appetite with the smoky. So I think that's confirmed Babanj, Mike. I do believe so.
You know what? You should be a detective because that does lead you to believe that he might have been talking about the good. He might have been talking about the Babanj, the pot, the marijuana. He might have been talking about that because if you're working up an appetite, I don't think that a cigar does that. Again, you look at Chris. He's got the short hair. He looks like the All-American kid. But, everybody does it, I guess, except for me. I'm one of the last holdouts, but I got to get the invite now to the big Thursday night game, and I'll report back what the smoky means. Let's go to Donnie in Staten Island. Donnie.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Hey, Donnie.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you calling. What's up?
Before listening in, really jealous what Chris has going on tonight. I'm going to be invited, but in anywho, all good stuff. Touching on the Yankees, the offseason, what's happening with Hal, the Yankees, and of course we hear Uncle Steve, the Mets, just everything that's transpired in this offseason thus far, even with Soto last year. Do you think, because I do, the Mets are simply turning this into a measuring contest against the Yankees?
How
As
so?
we all know, there's no salary cap in MLB. As of now, there is none. So Cohen's approach seems to be, I'll spend whatever it takes to win and finally beat the big brother, the Yankees. To me, that's what I'm seeing, and honestly, it just doesn't feel responsible. I respect Hal, Cashman, and the Yankees for not giving in. It's not like the Yankees can't financially go jab to jab. But why should they? Like you always said, the proof is in the pudding. The Yankees don't have to prove anything. They've always been in it, and can we stop the bashing with Hal and Yankees and Cashman and being cheap and all that? I'm just, as a fan, it's annoying.
Well, I mean, listen, I've always said I think Hal does what he has to do to win, and, they haven't won. I don't blame it on Hal at all. But in terms of, like, a measuring game, they went out and got Juan Soto. Juan Soto is one of the greatest free agents that was ever available. So it's not like they did something irresponsible. And if they go out and they get Bellinger this year, they need a good defensive outfielder. So it's not like they'd be doing something irresponsible. And listen, they're able to spend whatever they want. And if they lose the money, he has a net worth, according to different sources, of $22 billion that he has at his disposal, his personal wealth. The Yankee wealth is tied up in the Yankees. And in order to realize that wealth, they'd have to sell the team. And Guggenheim Partners, the money is endless, and the money that they're making off the connection with the Far East because of Ohtani and Yamamoto is endless as well. And they're going to spend whatever they have to spend. So the days when George owned the team, they're completely different than today. People seem not to realize that. I don't understand how you can't see the difference. George never had a deal with anybody like Steve Cohen or anybody like Mark Walter, who runs Guggenheim Partners. Never. Look at the owners that owned baseball teams when George was in the prime of George. The only one that came close was the Expos. The Bronfman family. That was it. And then you had to deal with, you had to play in Montreal, and you had to deal with customs and all that. They actually bid more for Reggie Jackson than the Yankees did. But at that time, it meant something to play in New York compared to playing in Montreal. So Reggie took less money to come to New York, and it worked out for him. But there were no Steve Cohens then. And really, nobody's throwing a pity party for the other owners. You approved Steve Cohen. And the reason you approved him because it brought up franchise values, but you had to know exactly what it meant. This is a guy, if you watch the show Billions, which was a great show. And the main character was supposed to be modeled after Steve Cohen. So if you wanted a primer on what Steve Cohen is about, then check it out. Check out that show. You knew this. Nothing stops this guy. Nothing stops this guy when it comes to art. He's going to spend what he has to spend. He'll outspend anybody to get what he wants. You think it was going to be different if he owned a team? And again, every owner that doesn't like that he's driving prices up and the money that he spent for Soto, it's on you. You approved him. You didn't have to. You approved the Dodger people. You approved them, and you knew what happened with it because it drove franchise values up, but it also is going to drive salaries up. Frank in Florida. Frank.
Hey, Michael, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing, Frank?
Okay, long-time fan. I just want to piggyback on the Mets and the Yankee differences. I'm totally on board with you with the Yankees don't spend well over $300 million. They're not going to be able to compete, not only with the Mets across town eventually, but certainly with the Dodgers and even the Jays at this point. I think I'm in total agreement with you as well with the Grisham signing, which I thought was ridiculous. So how are they going to make ends meet without going out and getting Bellinger? I think Bichette would be and now even Diaz. If the Mets sign Diaz, forget about it because the market's going to sway, I think, the Mets' way. He's got approval to build casinos there now. I could see this going back to the 80s and the mid 60s where the Mets took over New York. What is your feelings on that, and why would you make it? What will it take to get a Skubal here, or a Skeens here? Would a Volpe, Dominguez, Warren, and possibly another, even Chaz? I would look to trade Jazz at this point.
Frank, let me stop you because you sound like a smart guy. If you're the Pirates, would you take what you just offered for Paul Skeens?
Jazz, Volpe.
Yeah, keep going.
Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jazz, Volpe, Warren, and Dominguez.
You would take that.
I might consider it.
If you're the Pirates?
I might.
Frank, there's no way they're trading Skeens. They've made that known. They have control of him for 4 more years. They're not trading him. Skubal's a different story. But I'm not trading for Skubal, who's represented by Boris, and it would be a Soto thing. And the Yankees don't need starting pitching. Now, would it be nice to have Skubal? Yeah, he would slot in as the number 1, even above Cole. But that's not their overriding need. They've got starting pitching, and you'd have to trade a truckload of talent and collateral to the Tigers for 1 year, and then he becomes available to be bid on by the Dodgers and the Mets. So when you're saying you're putting this worst-case scenario, if they get Diaz and it's going to go back, that's why 2027 could be baseball Armageddon. Because owners like John Henry, Hal Steinbrenner, the Ricketts family in Chicago, Reinsdorf in Chicago, they're going to be pushing for a salary cap so that the Cohens and the Guggenheim partners can't blow everybody out of the water for the best talent. That's why there is a chance that their baseball could be closed down in 2027, because I really believe the owners truly think in order to save themselves from themselves, they've got to have a cap on what you could spend on a team. And what they're going to say is they're not going to say we're doing it for us. They're saying we're doing it for the Pirates and the Rockies and the Athletics and all the smaller market teams like the Reds. They're doing it for them so that everybody can compete. But rest assured, the big market owners that are in on the salary cap, they're doing it to save their own bacon, because you cannot control the Cohens and the Guggenheims. You can't. They don't care how much money they lose. Other teams do. Other teams have to care how much money they lose. They just do. That's why I think there will be the biggest, most concerted effort ever made by the owners to get the salary cap, and they're going to sell to the players. Every other sport has it. Every other sport has guys making huge money, just like you'd all make huge money. There's going to be a fight, and it's going to start on December 1st of next year. There's going to be a huge fight, and when you have the big market owners that are willing to shut down the game for a year, that's why. That's why, because they've got to save themselves from the monster they created by letting Cohen into the club and the Guggenheim partners into the club. That's it. They're trying to save themselves from being devoured. Hey, every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown scorer bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/K for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus, physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Slomin's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomins.com.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this Black Friday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get a full year of Netflix, an unlimited mobile line, a $400 prepaid card, and more, all on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They converted my kid's bath to a shower and did an incredible job. They offer custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit, and it's done in just one day. It's durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and a lower cost than a standard replacement. Take advantage of the biggest sale of the entire year. Save up to $800 on a complete Bathfitter system. See their website or call for details and start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com.
This is Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York.
This is football. I'm going to get hit. I'm not playing soccer out here. You're going to get hit.
Guess what, bro? Yeah, you're right. You play like this your whole life. It won't be a long life. That's what we're trying to tell you, dummy.
Bart, let me put it into simple terms for him. You want to make $300 million in the league? Stop.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you're not going to, and you're going to be out of the league in 2.5 years.
Bart Scott, Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Get into the Hyundai Getaway sales event and get away with a deal so right, it almost feels wrong. Because right now, you can get a great deal on our most popular models, including our adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid models. There's also our bold and stylish Elantra, packed with all the latest tech. Or go all-electric with the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6. So get down to your local Hyundai dealer and get away with an awesome deal only during the Hyundai Getaway sales event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for details.
Clinton Yates here, and the holidays are upon us, full of gatherings, toasts, and plenty of cheer. And if you're like me, you want every moment to shine. That's why I head to Total Wine & More, where you'll find it all at the lowest prices, from rich whiskeys and smooth tequilas to festive liqueurs and elegant champagnes. And if you're not sure what to grab, their guides will help you find bottles that impress. You'll always find what you love and love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Welcome back to the show. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg waiting. They'll be on in 10 minutes right here on ESPN New York. We thank you for spending another 2 hours with me. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Ryan in Glen Cove. Ryan?
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Real quick about the Chris Sims thing. I think I know the answer.
Tell me.
In 2010, he was arrested while driving high on marijuana.
No way.
Think that's the answer. I'm going to go with that one. But
wow. We are not saying that. Ryan in Glen Cove is. We'll check it out.
Check it out. It was a big story when it happened. I'm surprised you didn't remember that. But real quick, we're up on the roof listening to you guys. We love you. Every day we're up on the roof with the radio listening.
Oh, thank you,
guys
man.
Over there.
Thank you.
And real quick about Giannis, go get him, whatever it takes.
Well, you know what? When you say whatever it takes, you might weaken the whole team. So let's go to Spike in St. Pete, who's been on hold. Spike, what do you think about the Giannis stuff?
Well, first of all, I've always considered you a wordsmith, and when you talk about basketball, my father would say, with that joyful readiness, and the word is alacrity. I'm sure you're aware of that. It's just something about when you talk basketball, not just with me, with everybody. So I'll leave you at that. It's a big compliment. Big compliment.
Thank you.
I with the injury last night to Giannis, it's a precursor to the Achilles. So the Knicks are in a pretty big spot. When someone tells you, I don't know if he has a no trade or he has restrictions on his contract. Nobody's been able to decipher that yet. But I would grab him in a second, but I wouldn't give away. Look, Karl Anthony Towns he's an enigma to me because he's a great all-time scorer and he's a horrible defender, Michael. He was caught in that Boston game where Missoula really outcoached Mike Brown. Mike Brown should have pulled Brunson out when he was 5 for 20. Give him a blow or something, and he didn't do it.
Well, but when they came back though, he played Kolek a lot in that game.
Yeah, but better late than never. I just think that Joe Missoula has turned out, much to my chagrin, to be a much better coach than I thought. I didn't even know who he was. I knew they had Ime Udoka, and he's proven what his worth is with Yusuf. But I think you got to get this guy, and you could match him up with Towns. They're going to want OG. I wouldn't give away OG because he plays the same position. I think the Knicks are in the top 4 in the East, but I don't have them on top yet. Not with that defense. It's troubling to me.
But would you? Their defense worries me. Would you, in fact, trade Karl Anthony Towns and OG or Hart?
No.
For Antetokounmpo?
No. First of all, Hart. If you noticed, Hart, Bridges, and Deuce McBride are shooting 3-point shots at their career highs in the first 25 games or 20 games. They've worked on that. The Knicks' main fatal flaw, not to be redundant, is that they can't close out on the three. Now, if you limit the opposition to taking 35 of them, I don't care if they make half. You just have to limit them to take, as we talk often about the great run, that obligatory run, and the ball's up in the air.
But you know what was interesting about the Boston game, though, Spike, is they did defend the three, and Boston killed them in the two. I think they shot like 75%.
There's the coaching. He saw they were taking the three away, and look at the points in the paint. Boston outscored them by 16 points in the paint.
Yep.
That's what a good coach does. This guy maybe he's a great guy, speaks well, he's worthy. I think he's a little too chummy with the players, and for the life of me, as long as I live, I want to find out what happened. Was it Dolan that didn't like something about Thibodeau? Because he made the playoffs 4 out of 5 years, and he was unceremoniously let go, in my opinion.
Well, I've continued to wonder, Spike, and thank you for the phone call and nice words, why Thibodeau was let go. I'm not, so far, Brown's been fine. Ray looked it up for me. So a previous caller said that Chris had been arrested for driving while high. Well, we look back, and New York City jurors acquitted Chris Sims in his driving while high case. Police officer stated that Sims was zombie-like, said he'd been smoking marijuana. His lawyer said the officer misunderstood Sims when he said a passenger had been smoking the drug, and the passenger admitted that he had been smoking the drug. So we love Chris. We don't want a caller to come in, and he was arrested for it, but he was acquitted, and that's what our whole system's about. You get to have jurors decide whether or not you're guilty, and they decided that Chris was innocent of the good or the boubange or whatever you want to call it. Well, it's been quite a show. We have covered a lot. Tomorrow we'll have our two-pack for sure. I was 1-1 last week after a bad couple of weeks, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. We'll have more as we get closer to the winter meetings, and that will start on Sunday. People start reporting Sunday in Orlando. So we'll have the latest, and we'll talk to people down there. Yes Network doing the Hot Stove Show from down there as well with Meredith and Jack and Bob Loren. So we'll have the ESPN tentacles out as well. So we'll cover it very, very closely. We break down Jets and the Giants tomorrow as well. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Ox Spine at New York Presbyterian is always in pursuit of a better way to heal the spine. We're getting more people moving again with minimally invasive, non-surgical, and surgical treatment.